So this is going to be a bit unusual as far as my Bard's Tale streams go, because I actually have a bunch of stories to tell myself. Alright, this is a bunch of saves that I was piling up doing speedrun testing for the game, but we're going to actually play it normally. As we talk about PAX East.
Reliquary in hand, the heroes entered Castle Longskull, ready at last to battle the Wraith. But how could they keep him from stealing the blood of Athelrud when they were wrong about who possessed it?
Okay, I kind of forgot where I was in the game, but based on that, I know where I am now. So, PAX East was kind of insane. I'm already getting encoding overloaded message, so that's encouraging. But the whole reason that I was able to go to PAX East in the first place is that I had someone who was a friend of mine, who was, well, two friends of mine actually, who were going to the conventions as a guest. So, I was kind of one of their plus ones, meaning I didn't have to pay for the badge, which was like 200 something for a 4-day. I know they sold out of Saturday badges, but I can't remember what the price of the 4-day was. How's my equipment looking, by the way? Okay, we should be good. I need to check the booze. Oh yeah, we're good on that. So there was that, and I was also able to stay at their hotel with them. Which, those are like the two most expensive things, like, along with food. If you end up eating at a food court a lot, or if you have to Uber everywhere, transportation will be a lot. But yeah, that knocked out some of the major costs, so I said, alright. We called this an unofficial kidnapping. As a... Oh, shit! I forgot to do this.
Open for business. Strangers in the night, exchanging glances.
Thanks, DJ Oshawott, for the follow. Anyway, what I was saying. So I basically had to pay for my plane tickets, travel getting around there, because I almost always drive to conventions, just because it's way more convenient and cost-effective to have your own means of transportation there instead of constantly having to pay out for, like, Ubers and Lyfts, buses, trains, whatever. Although, if I remember correctly, the train for Boston actually wasn't that expensive. So anyway, oh right, that door's blocked off. I gotta go the long way. So, the plan was to get there Wednesday. Like, Wednesday afternoon / evening. And, since my friends weren't going to show up until Thursday, I went to the convention with Jeremiah Isaiah. If you don't know him, he's another streamer, does a lot of Bloody Roar stuff. So the plan was that I would hang out with him and his friends at an Airbnb that they booked. Wednesday comes, we're all packed up, ready to go. I like double and triple check my...
Another story of Mathan, priestess. It doesn't have to be a naughty one this time.
Why do you want to hear all these things, Harper?
I want to write them down in my book.
Aye, but why?
Because someday they might be forgotten. And if that happens, someone should have a record of them to remind folk they existed.
Ha! Mathan will never be forgotten. She is a goddess.
That's what we Bade said about our gods, and then the Fatherites came along. The old ways can never be taken for granted, priestess. Tell your tale.
Very well. Though I still don't believe Mathan will ever fade.
I normally really appreciate those segments, but not when they're interrupting my story time. Oh, I could have just used the stones. Whatever. Anyway, so Wednesday comes, we're all packed up. I actually forgot a couple of things right before leaving the house. And my fiance drove me and Jeremiah to the airport. We're waiting for shit, and then, like, I realize shortly before boarding starts, I forgot something that I would not be able to get into the convention without. So, yeah, I panic, as you might expect. And, I frantically call up my fiancé and say, like, is there any way that you could drive this to the airport? And she's like, how am I going to get it to you? You went through TSA. Like, are you expecting me to go through? And I'm just like, I'll figure it out when you get there. Just go. They frantically drive over to the airport. And what they ended up doing was they talked to one of the front desk agents for the airline that I was on. And they managed to communicate with them where I was, what gate I was on, what flight I was on. And, like, right as boarding was ending, I'm still sitting outside the gate. And this person comes up to the front desk where boarding happens and hands something off to the guy. It was like she just got it here in time. So I apologize profusely, and I'm the last one getting on the plane. Scan my boarding pass. The guy's like, just go, we gotta get this flight on time. So that was nerve-wracking. But we got through it. I got on the plane. And actually, the plane ride went very fast. We were like, I want to say more than 20 minutes ahead of schedule. So, yeah, that went incredibly well. We land in Boston, and within 10 minutes of being in Boston, I hear a person in a Bostonian accent unironically talk about parking a car. And I'm like, yep. Got another 5 days of this. Although not so much, because people in PAX and attending PAX are kind of from everywhere. So, we grab, like an Uber to get to the Airbnb. And that was when I learned fear. Because I haven't been to all the major cities in the US. I haven't been to New York. I haven't been to Los Angeles. So my scope is admittedly very limited as far as where the worst drivers in the country are. But holy fuck, I have not seen yet a worse city full of drivers than Boston. Thanks, Tiger Chamaru, for the tier 2. Yeah, fuck you, Boston, indeed. Or at least the drivers in Boston. So anyway, we're in the Uber, we're going toward the Airbnb, and at this point, it's less than half an hour since we've gotten off the plane. We're heading toward this tunnel, and like a couple cars ahead of us, I see another car, jump over a curb and cut off the car that was like a couple in front of us. And this was within like 100 feet of the tunnel. And that was the appetizer for the sort of driving that I was going to like witness or experience the entire weekend. And I need to remember how to get up here. I guess I can fast forward to like a couple other instances. Just broadly speaking, if you go to Boston, you're wearing a Yankees hat just to piss off Red Sox fans. Good luck with that night, man. But I swear that like every 10 or 15 minutes, like even if I was just like sitting in the hotel room, which the hotel was across from the convention center, every 10 or 15 minutes I would hear from somewhere outside. And I'm being specific with that because it's not like like the friendly honk, like, hey, get moving. It's the asshole honk. Almost as bad as the time you wore a Buckeye sweater in Detroit. You didn't get nearly as much shit for that as I thought you would. Granted, I should have spoken up sooner, but there was that part of me that was like, this is gonna be good. So anyway, we get to, sorry, I have notes for all of this, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss anything. So, I meet Jeremiah's friends at the Airbnb, Ivan and Acid. I'm still at that point where I know them by their screen names more than their real names. But, at this Airbnb, there's like a basic kitchen area. There are a couple floors with some bedrooms. And they have a TV that they had hooked up a Switch to. And they were playing Mario Party. And if you know my history with Mario Party, i.e. me getting banned from playing Mario Party, sometimes with Zero Master. Thanks, Anime North. Or my habits of like playing blind, playing with my feet, not looking at the screen. Just generally not giving a single shit about Mario Party. Like, I warned them that if I play Mario Party with people, someone tends to get angry. And they said, no, it's cool. So we're playing Mario Party, time goes by, and I think it was around the time I got my 3rd star, while barely ever looking at the screen, that Jeremiah just, like, walked off in disgust. I mean, I warned him. Like, I'm actively not trying, but I'm still somehow getting stars. We never actually finished that Mario Party game, because we realized that we, like, really needed to, like, find food. It was getting pretty late, and stuff was starting to close. This is not Sonic Shuffle. Someone did bring up Sonic Shuffle, but no one actually had Sonic Shuffle. So we ventured out, we, like, went to a Target and just got some basic-ass food. And, oh, geez, I gotta do this puzzle again. Hold on. Okay, that's weird. You should be able to push it this way. Alright, we go to a Target, which isn't that far of a walk from the B&B. I just grabbed some basic stuff to microwave, or that you can just eat cold. Because, like, I don't know how clean the kitchen is or isn't. Particularly since there's, like, a dozen other people using it. I still can't push that block. Alright, fine. Let's make sure that's in the back corner. Meanwhile, Jeremiah gets, like, frozen lasagna and 2 frozen pizzas. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, is there even a pizza pan at this place? Because, like, if there's not, then how is he going to, you know, have the pizza? Well, there wasn't a pizza pan at that place. So he had to improvise by getting this, like, metal tray type thing. It looks like it's used for making casseroles, but he just throws the pizza. Like, it didn't actually fit in the tray. It was just sitting on top of the tray, kind of balanced. And as it cooked, it, like, dipped down into the pan. And I think I have a picture of on my phone of him, like, trying to get this pizza out of the pan and just eat it whole. Like, at that point, just fold it over into a calzone. Alright, so, the Airbnb that we went to, our room had 2 beds, we had 4 people. It was a pretty small room. And... oh, I haven't been there yet. Okay, there's a breakable wall. So, probably should have bought Mama Celeste pizza, just put it on a plate in a microwave. Yeah, I was trying to think more for convenience, and he just, like, went with what he usually gets. Which wound up being a problem. Okay, so I gotta go through here. So, there were 2 beds in the Airbnb. It's not a particularly big room, but it does have, like, a decent-sized closet. So, I appreciated that, at least.
What do you need? Darkness, take me.
Alright, so we're gonna get into some battles as I try to keep up with the story.
Who's telling me shit?
Oh, great, we got a caster.
Cheers.
Tell me. Good steel and a good arm never lost yet.
Aye?
So, the thing about the room is there's a regular-sized bed for 2 people, and the other bed is just a single bed. Oh, yeah, they're playing your Jam Tiger tomorrow.
Bottoms up.
So, I wound up singing in... I love that emote, Nightman. So, I wound up sleeping in the single bed with one other person. We went head to toe, and it was so warm in the room that I didn't even bother putting bed sheets on. But I did not get a good night's sleep there.
Yeah?
For a myriad of reasons. Not the least of which being that... like, I'm not going to get into the personal habits of anyone who stays at the Airbnb, but I kept hearing, like, someone going up and down the stairs over and over and occasionally farting. Sadly, that wound up being like the shape of things to come when we moved hotels, but I didn't know it at the time. So I did not sleep particularly well.
Speak.
And the morning comes. I have my breakfast, which is just like, I got a thing of bagels, so I had a bagel and like this container of milk. You know, just something to get me by. And yeah, Thursday comes. My friends still aren't there because they're flying in from California. So they have like a connecting flight to Dallas, and then there's a layover, and then they weren't going to get there until like, I think it was 8 o'clock they finally landed. I need to focus on like actually killing this dude. Okay.
Ready.
Ready?
On your word.
So something else that was an issue was Thursday comes, we get to PAX, we like go through the protocols and everything, and then the time comes to get our badges. Now, my badge was vouched for by one of my friends who was a guest there. So what I was told was to go through will call, and then like search for my name, and it would show up, and I'd be able to get a badge. I go through will call, give the name, no badge.
Ready?
I tell them who I'm with, both of them, and their names are in the system as yes, but there's no badges attached to their names. And like, I don't have their phone numbers. I basically just talk to them entirely through Discord. And that's not good enough proof to say that I'm associated with them. So I'm just at a loss, and I walk away from the will call, and I'm like, I don't have a badge.
What should I do?
Nah, I'll hold off on doing that.
On your word. This world will be better off without you.
Oh, holy shit, you got a lot of health.
Ready.
Alright, So I tell Jeremiah and company what's going on. They all have their badges. And we're like frantically trying to message my friends. I will say who the friends are a bit later, but I want to keep you in suspense for a little bit. Those of you who don't already know.
Aye?
Ready.
And let's just get the rest of the armor off of this.
On your word.
What are we doing? Puss shit.
Aye.
So, the thing is, we're trying to get in touch with them, but they're on a plane. And planes, like, I don't know if you've ever tried using Wi-Fi on a plane, but a lot of them tend to, like, charge you extra for using that, which was the case for the airline they were on. So they were trying not to do that. We wound up getting in touch with them because their plane landed for their connecting flight. And, what happened was one of them got in touch with, like, their AtCon agent. I forget what his name was, but they said, look, one of our friends is there. He's with us. He's like our +1, I guess would be the term for it. And can you get him a badge? And then they tell me, okay, here's the guy you're going to hook up with. He'll be at this location, and he looks like this, dressed like this. And I do find him, meet up with him, and he just casually walks behind the registration area and grabs a badge out of a box. He's like, okay, here you go. I wasn't expecting to be that simple of a process, but I'll take it.
Aye? Yes?
Okay, I was checking to make sure they wouldn't take half damage.
On your word.
Here.
So that was how I wound up getting my badge. And, I was a little taken aback by, like, how things looked at PAX. Basically, the way it's laid out is, like, it's kind of like a square or horseshoe design that goes, like 3 floors up or 4 floors up. And then at the bottom level, there's the giant expo hall in the middle of it. Oh shit, I forgot to mention something about the flight. I didn't get video of this, and I wish I did, but when you fly into Boston,
Orders?
your plane actually flies past Boston, goes over the ocean, and does a U-turn to be able to land at the airport. I was in a window seat as this happened, and as it's turning, it looks back toward the sun, which is setting at this point, and the sunlight's streaking across the ocean water and putting this orangish tinge over the city. It was a beautiful shot, and I regret not like filming or at least snapping a photo on my camera with that. Anyway, the convention space itself. One floor above the expo hall, there's a hallway, like a glass walkway that goes over the entire thing and gives like a really good bird's eye view of everything that's there.
Yes?
Might as well just get this armor off of him. So, like, I'm definitely going to be showing that in the eventual video that I put up of this. But, it was kind of a weird PAX to go to, because usually, like, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft will have some kind of presence there, but that wasn't the case this year. And, it wound up being taken up by, like, colleges with design programs, indie studios, Kickstarter, and crowdfunding things had like a sizable presence. Limited Run was there. Like some games available through Special Reserve were there. Some games that had already released and were like having certain like additional DLC or special editions coming out were also there. Like I didn't know the difference because I'd never been to PAX, but I went to a convention called GDEX, which is like an Ohio-based game developer conference, and it felt like that on a much larger scale. NES America shows up. Oh, I can't remember if NES America was there. I just remember seeing like the new TMNT game, Windjammers 2, Rune Factory. I know 505 was there. I could probably pull up like the full list of them and see which ones were there and which ones weren't.
Yes.
But I don't want to get bogged down in those kind of details. So the space was actually so large that there were food trucks. And it's the first time I've seen food trucks inside an expo hall. There were like 5 or 6 of them, and they all just had this one little area where all of them were parked. It was like video game area, food truck area, tabletop area. And then there were like various vendors interspersed all over. And that's one of my criticisms was it was hard to find certain vendors because they were kind of spread out throughout the entire area instead of being, you know, concentrated and easier to find. Like there was one place that sold these really nice looking jackets that had graphics painted all over them. One of them was Earthworm Jim, so I was really tempted, but I did not have the money. There was another one too that had like Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night and other works like all over the jackets, but that was also way too expensive.
What should I do?
Orders.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me think. 12 damage. Okay, that's not going to kill any of them.
Yeah?
Aye?
On your word.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Blood off the beer!
Come on, you tinkers.
There we go.
Ready? I suppose.
Yes?
Okay, so I kind of got sidetracked, but yeah, there was the food trucks, there were food vendors kind of spread out in like the hallways where the panels would be. or like where console free play and stuff like that would be. And it was while looking for one of those that we randomly saw a barbershop quartet that apparently shows up there a lot. They were pretty good, not gonna lie. And the food courts, there were like 5, maybe 6 areas you could eat. And I'm just gonna read off some prices to you, and you tell me what you think. Fountain drink, $4. Fries. Not small, large, medium fry, just fries. $4. Pretzel, like a soft pretzel, $7. Burger, $9. Even considering that the food, like, wasn't actually that bad, that is still ridiculous pricing, even by food court standards. Like, I understand that when you go to a convention like this, you're paying, like, part of the price you're paying is the food itself. Part of it is the prep work the employees put in. And a big portion of it is you're paying for convenience. But even so, that got pretty ridiculous pretty fast. Oh. Go for the fancy stuff. Exactly one rule. Sorry, I'm scrolling through my notes. Oh, speaking of pretzels, there was this, like, baked goods place that, right in the middle of their glass case display, they had this massive fucking pretzel. And I wanted to, like, try tackling it with 1 or 2 other people. I know one, like, Acid was in for it. I know that one of my friends who got me to the convention was in on it. But by the time we, like, agreed on a time to go and have it, the place had already closed. And that was on Sunday. So we'll have to go back next year solely to tackle the giant pretzel. What games are going to be there that year? I don't know. But pretzel. Get your priorities in order. Pretzel. Okay, this looks like it should be breakable. Or maybe not. So, the hotel was a bit disorienting. Not the hotel. The convention was a bit disorienting to navigate, because everything was like squares, circles, and horseshoe shapes. So if you get turned around once, that can throw off your entire ability to navigate the building. But they did have a ton of signage to help out. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been. I need to get Dragon Ball Bombs at some point. So anyway,
Not far now. Keep going.
time goes by. Eventually our friends do touch down in Boston. And they were apparently told that they would have like some sort of transportation that would get them to the hotel. And it just didn't happen. So they kind of made their own way to the hotel. Already, like, severely jet lagged because you're going across 3 time zones to get there. But eventually they do say, okay, here's the hotel we're at. You can meet us there. So we go back to the Airbnb. We get our stuff. Get another Uber and take it over there. And did I miss something over here? I feel like I missed something. So we get to the hotel. We finally like meet up with them in the lobby of this hotel. And just at a glance, I'm looking at this hotel and thinking,
Trees. We'll pick them off from there. Come on.
okay, I'm not thinking that. But I'm looking at this hotel and thinking, this is not a hotel for common folk. Because parts of it look like really ritzy. There are art displays in the lobby. And by art displays, I mean, like, there are vases under glass. There's, like, abstract art on the walls. Oh, shit. I'll do that later. And then there's this display of shoe art. Like, there's a shoe made out of circuit boards. There's one that has just a bunch of random shit painted on it. I remember looking at some of them and thinking, damn, what a waste of a shoe. But anyway, we meet up with them in the lobby, and these are friends that we had never actually met in person. So, it was kind of strange at first, but at the same time, like, I've still been talking to these people for a couple of years. So it was nice to be able to, like, speak to them through means other than a microphone and Discord. But yeah, we all get our pleasantries out of the way, and then we head up to the hotel room. Now, wait a minute. Hold up. How did I not notice this before? The Shrine of Larian Studios? Like Divinity Original Sin Baldur's Gate 3 Larian Studios? Did they think we would not notice this? Sorry. Anyway. It was supposed to be a 2-bed hotel room. But for some reason, they were only given 1 bed. Like when you met me at Kineticon for the first time. Actually, yeah. Kind of that same energy. Like, you know it's a friend that you're going to get along with, but there's still that weirdness of, this is the first time we're actually seeing each other face to face. But either way, like, that didn't last long, because, like, they're friends. Through eternity. Loyalty. Honesty.
The Jarl! Get him to safety!
So, okay.
Run! Run!
Alright, this is the part where I have the most notes. And it's just called, "This hotel sucks, explain why." So I mentioned before, it was supposed to be 2 beds, it's only 1. But the big thing about this hotel is, I mentioned before how ritzy and artsy some of it looked. The hotel itself was clearly designed more for form than for function. If you don't know what that means, it means it's designed to look good rather than be good.
The Jarl! He's wounded! Get him up! Get him away!
Hey, making good use of the 720 emote. Love to see it. I guess. Alright, so I got a lot of notes for this one. Hold on. So because there was only one bed, and it was technically me and Jeremiah who were staying in the room with them. 3 people crammed onto the bed, and then I was the one person who was not on the bed, because I said, it's okay, I'll sleep on this. And then I realized that I was basically agreeing to sleep on this. It wasn't a sofa. It wasn't a bench. It was a bofa. It's not the kind of furniture I usually see, but it was just long enough that I could lay down on it without having to, like, compact my legs. Oh, nice, I'll take that. And then, there weren't any extra blankets in the room. And I said, no, it's okay. Bofatistas. No, we're not going down that road. So, I agreed to sleep on the bofa, and I used my jacket that I was wearing as a blanket. And that worked well at first. Then the air conditioning turned on. So my jacket is like just long enough to cover either my legs or my torso, and not both. And I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing, because I realize the bofa is like right next to...
Sven, protect me. Dagjar, guide my blade.
It's right next to this big-ass air vent where the air conditioning comes through. So, to get through that night, because I wasn't going to, like, get up in the middle of the night, dig through my luggage, I had a pair of sleep pants. But I wasn't going to go, hey guys, I'm turning on the light to change my clothes, hold on. So I just, like, slept in the fetal position the whole night. Now, Tiger, there's a difference between just wearing shorts in winter and having cold air continuously blasted at you. Significant difference. Ah, jeez. I have a feeling we're going to be here a while, so maybe I'll just continue with the story. So that was one issue with the room. The biggest issue with the room was how it handled the bathroom. Now, just imagine any hotel you have ever stayed in, how they handle a bathroom. You're probably assuming that a bathroom would have, you know, walls of some sort. Not this one. There's like the bed, and then a countertop with a sink and a mirror in front of it. And then there's no wall around the mirror, and the shower and the toilet are like right behind that. And on top of that, the door for the bathroom was a little too small, so there was a half-inch gap where if you really wanted to, you could just lean over, look through it, and see someone taking a dump. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you could do that. Oh, God damn it. So, on top of that, the water flow for the, why am I... My mind is just cogs right now, sorry. the water flow for the toilet and the shower weren't very good. So you'd have to wind up showering for like a little longer than you normally would. Jeez. Yeah, I just gotta reset this and try again. There was another issue with the bathroom. The sink faucet was one of those ones that dramatically like went up, swooped down, and angled over the basin. But the distance between the end of the faucet and the basin itself was like, I'll say maybe 4 inches, which is basically means you have very little space in which to wash your hands without touching the bottom of the sink. Oh. Maybe? Maybe? No. So close. So, I haven't touched on the biggest issue with the shower in particular, which is that, well, the shower and the bathroom, they both use this kind of frosted glass to try and obscure what was on the other side. But if you were within, like, 2 feet of the glass, it wasn't that translucent. Fortunately, we found out that before it became a significant issue. But yeah, if you're showering and you're standing too close to the door, people can just see everything. Ah, jeez, what else? Oh yeah, there was no closet in the hotel room. So, like, there was no convenient place to store stuff. We just sort of found a corner in which to dump things, which became a mess very quickly. Shit, what else? Oh, right, because there was no closet, there wasn't really anywhere to hang anything. There was just, like, some random weird piping on the wall, which you couldn't effectively hang things on. It was like a miniature version of the old copper pipe screensaver. But you couldn't effectively hang anything on it. And I had, like, something to hang for cosplay, so what I wound up doing was just draping it over one of these, like, dramatic swooping lights over the bed. And, all I'm saying is, this room did not seem like the kind of room that, if the reports were right, had like a $600 deposit on it. Which is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, my thoughts exactly, One Roll. How? How do you fuck that up? jeez, I'm gonna have to just start this whole thing over. I screwed this up. Okay. Now we can continue. We do eventually, like, settle in a bit. I guess I might as well say, like, who the guests were at this point. It was Casey Modulo and Kira Buckland. If you don't know who they are, Casey was Shinji in the Netflix dub of Eva, among many other things. And Kira was Jolene Kujo in JoJo, and 2B in Nier Automata.
To me! To me! Hold the line!
Things did not go well for him. Anyway, oh shit, is this the part where... Yeah, I think this is that part. At least there's a save point right before it. So, we try to settle into the room.
We'll make a stand here. The rest of you go ahead.
Amazed your friends with a few professional voice actors. It turns out that I had loose connections with them going back further. Because, at one point, like many, many years ago, all of us were in the voice acting club. It's just that they took it a little more seriously than I did. Well, that and I couldn't get a decent mic at the time. I actually did get a condenser at one point, but it broke. And I just couldn't afford to replace it, and that got me out of it.
Yeah, we grinning horrors.
Yeah, I used to do Newgrounds, like Flash animations, which I got recruited for several of those, but the thing is, the people who create those are usually like younger, like high school, college, and 75% of them just never happen. So if you want to get like decent exposure through that, you gotta like really be a high volume voice.
Away I go.
I am not fucking
I'm
with you
willing to
today.
die for a cause, but not for stupidity.
Oh yeah, Casey is from Bristol. And actually, one rule. You'll find this interesting. I asked them if they knew where Torrington was, and they said, yeah. So, in the process of settling in, Casey brought a PS1.
Not stopping.
And, one of the reasons they were there was to show off their project for, the Bloody Roar 2 redub, which Casey had gotten, like, professionally manufactured discs of the redub. And, popped one of them into the PS1, and they just started playing Bloody Roar 2. And, like, Jeremiah's far and away the best Bloody Roar player. Oh, you're in Winstead now? Yeah, I didn't know which city you moved to, so I just threw out Torrington. But I have a feeling they might know where that is as well. God, I really need to get more bio bombs. Oh yeah, yeah, voice, you did tell me about that. Wait, I got myself turned around. Okay, that's the way I came from. So, Bloody Roar 2 gets popped in. Jeremiah is far and away the best player. And, he and Casey start doing some rounds. Hartford versus Hartford. Exactly. And, Casey beat Jeremiah. To be fair, Casey has played a shit ton of Bloody Roar 2. Oh, Nightman, you're from Bristol? I knew you were from Connecticut, but I never knew, like, which specific part of it. That's awesome. Guessing there's no way to get redub discs at this time. The only way to get them is through Casey in particular, Casey and Kira. I actually do have a couple of them, because, like, Casey sent me a couple. But Casey came there with, like, a decent amount of them. And, hold on. Okay. Oh crap, this has to do with the thing I just read. Well, looked at, but didn't really read. Okay. These are at least easier to avoid. Champion on. I think the thing is, Jerry just plays so much extreme that it's jarring for him to play the other entries in the series. Oh, I was standing in the fire. Oops. Yeah, I at least got the fire turned off. Oh. Almost walked right into that.
Yes.
I'm gonna have something to eat. A nice tropical drink. Excellent. Twitch player crapped out. You didn't actually miss that much. Just expounding a bit on Bloody Roar 2 and the reasons, like, Jerry is better at some than others. So, we kind of did that into the night. There was a round where Jerry and I played each other. And it consisted almost entirely of Jerry doing nothing and me just drumming on the D-pad and not actually attacking. I'm sure he'll post video of it, but it's magical.
Darkness take me.
I'm sure the FGC would appreciate it.
Who's killing his shit?
Sorry, I couldn't say that without laughing.
Bottoms up.
So, we stayed up way too late playing video games. Yeah, I gotta get used to things having higher health values here. So I didn't sleep particularly well for like 2 nights in a row. And that made me like really groggy and slow in the morning. To the point that like all of them like left to go to the con before I did. Truth be told, I also just wanted to shower with nobody else in the room. Because of reasons that I already explained. But I do eventually make it there. Kira had a panel which was just playing Smash Brothers with Kira. I didn't realize it at first, but Casey went there and Jerry also went there. Jerry was doing a lot of commentary for it.
Yeah?
So we did that. Oh, I was also slow leaving the hotel because I filmed a bunch of parts of the hotel for a review that I'm going to put in the video.
Good to the last
Because
drop.
god damn I hated that hotel.
Ready?
On your word.
Aye.
Okay, I think I have an idea how to approach this. So Casey and Kira had an autograph signing, and it was their first PAX, it was my first PAX. None of us really knew what to expect as far as like the amount of people that would actually want to get something signed by them. So I go with them to the autograph signing just in case they like need help with anything. And they got this big ass line. So big, in fact, that like the enforcers at PAX had to cap it at a certain point.
Am I supposed to be doing something?
And I remember them mentioning that like when they were announced, there were a bunch of posts on Twitter. They're like, "Who are these nobodies? Like, who's gonna get something signed by them?" Well, a lot of people actually. I felt obligated to help them out because, like, they helped me out to get there in the first place. Oh, nice, critical.
Command me. Yes? Away I
I'm doing that thing where I try clicking really hard to get a critical hit. It doesn't work. So, I helped them get set up, like, lay the prints out, make sure they got, like, the markers for everything. At one point, they needed, like, a certain type of marker. So I, like, ran off, like, asked around a couple of enforcers, wound up getting the marker they needed. Also, it was just, like, generally an extra set of eyes to make sure no one, like, swiped a postcard or something. And then, yeah, it was like a really intense, like 2 hours of just non-stop autographs and Ice Casey and Bart's Tale. Oh, you didn't know? The universes are linked. I don't want to waste that on this.
Speak.
But then again, how else am I going to
Ready?
attack it?
I suppose.
My noggin!
Okay, that's done with. In the process of the autographs, I see something like moving out of the corner of my eye along the wall. I realize there's a sparrow inside the convention center. Which isn't too unheard of for like big ass convention centers with lots of doors, lots of windows. But I still decided to like film a bit of it and like post it on Twitter with like, "Excuse me, sir or madam, where is your badge?" Because at this point, you have to pick Keizu pets for being so quiet. Okay, there. At that one. We'll pet that one. Good.
Aye. Come on, you tinkers!
Look what they did and see that!
So, it took me a while to realize that I was doing it, but actually, I'll explain that later. So, autographs finally end, and like Casey is just spent. And like, you did it. You made it through the first day. And then they keep like saying how tired they are, and I go, okay, what's your name? And I'm wearing my hat that says shirt at the time, and Casey just says, I am shirt.
Aye?
Damn, no crit.
Tell me.
Okay, oh yeah, as you might expect at a place like PAX, they had this big-ass, like, free play area for consoles. They had it split up into, like, the modern consoles, modern slash... I can't remember if they had last gen in there as well or not. But more modern-ish area, and then a retro area. And... like, I hung out in the, like, modern area for a little bit. But when I realized that, like, a third of the room was just people playing Smash and getting way too loud over it, I said, yeah, I'm good. I'll just go to the retro area. Actually, funny you mentioned that one, Roll. They did have the stuff for Rock Band in the retro area. They also had the stuff for Guitar Hero as well, and I saw someone playing Encore Rocks the 80s, which made me smile a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Ready. Yes? Fuskalish.
Orders.
On your word.
I think we're good for now.
Fuskalish.
They had PS5 and Xbox Series X, to be very surprised. Oh, they did have PS5s and Series X's. It was the most I had ever seen in one place ever. In person, at least. But the retro area, they had Thug 2 on a random PS2 there. So I just sat down and played that for a bit. I'd never actually played Thug 2. And, I don't know, I didn't really like the way it played compared to a bunch of the other Tony Hawk entries. I still feel like I need to give it more of a chance, but I wasn't that impressed with it. But they also had a PS2 that was hooked up to a projector. So Jeremiah and his friends just on a whim asked if they had Bloody Roar 3. They did. So, for a while in the console free play area, projected up on this wall, they were doing sets of Bloody Roar 3. And apparently his friends knew more about the game than he gave them credit for. Because I'm over on Thug 2, and then I hear over from their station, "You know how to evade?" But yeah, time goes on. We eventually all end up back at the hotel room. And Casey had brought, like, both of us brought PS1 games. But Casey brought Pro Skater 3 PS1 version. Which is something I alluded to in the Project 8 video. but I hadn't actually played myself. After playing it a bit, I actually think it's okay. Obviously, I still like the PS2, GameCube, Xbox versions more, but as far as adapting it to the older engine, it was alright. That said, we did break the shit out of it. Like, if you don't know, Casey is like really into the Pro Skater games. And is ridiculously good at them. Like, on Pro Skater 3 PS1 in the Canada level, they got a combo that was over 5 million points. And I'm just... huh? I had to count in minutes how long it took for the score to tick all the way down from that combo. But also, while we were free playing, just free skating in the Canada level, we discovered that the physics on the snowbanks were like moon physics. So if you like rode into them at a certain angle, and okay, I should move these guys out of this column.
What are we doing?
Speak.
So, what we would do is we would just, like, see... We'd go into the snow column at a certain angle, jump at a certain time and speed, and see either how many tricks we could pull off before landing, which landing was kind of complicated because of the wonky physics. See how many spins we could do, or see how many special tricks we could do, and then try to manual out of it and go back into the snowbank and launch again. Like, I was playing as Rodney Mullen, and I would do, like, 5 gazelle flips off of the snowbank. Collision detection with the wall next to the snowbank was a little weird, which made it hard to land. But I would land, get in a manual, circle back to the snowbank and do, like, 4 more gazelle flips and land it. Just rack up, like, over 1 million points solely by doing the same special trick over and over. I also wound up doing, like, fuck, what was it? A 1080 airwalk. Casey was having a field day with it too. I remember when they did the 5 million point combo, like, I was just, holding back and left on the controller, spinning in place with, Rodney Mullen. And I held it like that for 10-15 minutes, just waiting to see what Casey was going to do next. And then Casey looks over at my screen and goes, "Is Rodney shorter?"
On your word.
And I kind of look back and forth between our character models, and I realize Rodney is shorter. He's not supposed to be. Let's get that armor off.
Coming through.
What should I do? Plunge.
I'm just going to move these guys out of the way.
Ready. Passing through. Command me.
On your word.
Six in my head.
On your word.
Am I supposed to be doing something?
Yes?
We'll have this go. So, back to what I was mentioning about Ronnie being shorter. I kept my thumb held down on that input, and we noticed he's getting shorter, he's getting skinnier, the skateboard is getting smaller. I don't know if anyone has reported this about the game before, but we discovered a versus glitch, where if one of the characters just spins endlessly, their character model gets really warped and starts to, like, shrink and distend. So we put our scientific minds together And we said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave the PS1 on all night. We're going to, like, prop the inputs of the controller against something to hold it in place. And Ronnie will just spin all night long. And when we wake up in the morning, we'll check and see, like, how distorted he gets. So we set that up, and then some of Jerry's friends were also over, and we were going to try and, like, pull up the Sonic the Hedgehog movie on YouTube on the hotel TV, because that was an option. And like, some of them were going to see Sonic 2 later, and a lot of us hadn't seen Sonic 1, myself included, because I just don't care. But they were going to pull it up on the TV and watch it, so I was like, okay. The TV blocked YouTube. Like, YouTube streaming was completely blocked. And I just remember hearing Kira go, $600 deposit! And there were more fuck this hotels thrown around. Oh my god, okay, I gotta focus on this turn. I've been on this fight for so long.
Aye?
Oh, yep, that'll kill him.
Yes? Fuskelinish.
Here.
Oh, you asshole.
Fuskelinish.
Did the power go out? Don't get ahead of me. So, Saturday comes. We wake up. The PS1 is still going. The controller is still propped in its previous position.
Tell me.
And we turn on the TV. And we see Casey's character on the one side. And on the other side... Let me put it this way. Have you ever opened MS Paint and just made, like, the thinnest possible diagonal line? That is what Rodney Mullen turned into from all the spinning. It was just this black diagonal line and a little white dot at the end where the skateboard was. And I go, holy fuck. Does anyone else know about this?
Ready.
Okay, I'll focus on this one.
What are we doing?
Ready.
So I say, okay, he's been spinning long enough. It's been hours at this point. He's probably not going to distort anymore. So I take, like, the controller and actually try to move. And he very slowly starts moving. He'd been spinning for so long and gotten so warped that it affected the physics of the game. My character was completely busted. And it wasn't until I, like, tried jumping and colliding with an object that Rodney just popped back into existence and everything was normal again.
Speak.
Here.
Yes?
Yeah?
Oh, perfect.
Am I supposed to be doing something? Fuskelinish.
Orders?
Command me.
I did not realize that shot diagonally.
Who's killing his shit?
Ready? I'll just squeeze by. Ah, did you make that elbow yourself?
Oh, what happened after Rodney becoming a Rod? That was Saturday. Oh yeah, that was the day that I cosplayed Hugo from Bloody Roar 1. Because that was the day that the Bloody Roar panel was happening. It was called, like, Bloody Roar 2, How We Redubbed a PS1 Game. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called.
Aye? Goodbye.
Here.
Yeah, I can just zap this guy into oblivion.
Yes?
So the Bloody Roar 2 panel happened, and it was pleasantly surprising how many people showed up. I mean, Jerry had a number of friends who showed up, but even if you ignored them, it was a pretty good turnout. And during the panel, which I didn't realize at first they were going to do this, Casey and Kira had prints made up of a Bloody Roar 2 versus screen, which was Bakuryu versus Uriko, because those are the characters that they voiced. And they were going to have people come up on stage and play against them in Bloody Roar 2. If they beat Kira, they would get 2 of the reproduction discs, one of which would be signed by both of them. And then if they also beat Casey, they would get the signed print. But then there was something else. So, there's a bit of a running joke between, like myself, Casey, Kira, Jeremiah, and a group of other people, where I just started making inspirational quotes based off of random things that Jeremiah says. And when I say inspirational, I just mean absolutely anything that comes out of his mouth. Like, if... You need me to pull up some examples so I can give some context to this, or should I just keep going? Actually, yeah, I think I will give you a couple of examples. Just so you understand, like, the magnitude of the bullshittery that we did. If I can pull up the window, because it's buried by Bardsdale. There it goes. So, examples of inspirational quotes by Jerry that I've made over the years include, "I can be a circle, bruh." Okay, some of these I really should not read. "I couldn't kill the fart dude, bruh." Let's see. I'm trying to find ones that won't get me kicked off Twitch. "I know you've seen a hard dog before, bruh." I know that one's not bad because I know the context of it. "I will not be a meme." That's another one. "Why won't my shit come out?" "I just gotta delete the porn, but it's hard." So that's just a handful to give you a taste. So, what Casey and I decided was we were going to make, like, postcard prints of some of these. So we went through and made, like, a PG version of a collection of quotes. And I printed off, like, a dozen of them. I did it through Shutterfly. And Jerry had absolutely no idea that we planned this or did this. I actually hid them in plain sight in my room. He was standing less than 2 feet away from them at one point and did not notice them. So as a prize, just for volunteering to come up and play the demo, or participating in the Q&A afterward, I announce that whoever does that will get the collection of, and this is what it was called, Jeremiah Isaiah Quotes to Motivate and Inspire. And as soon as I pulled those out for the panel, Jerry just goes, "Are you for real right now, bro?" And I read off a couple of them, and he's just stewing at his position at the panel, because we were both on stage with them and had microphones. He's like, "I cannot believe this. They did not tell me anything about this." He got so worked up that he tried, like, goading Casey into playing a set against him in the middle of the panel. A good time was had by all. Okay, so it's another one of these, which means we'll be here a while. So the panel went, like, really well. We could not have asked for it to go better. Good thing I take less trap damage. And, so, like, showing up after the panel to talk, with, I can't remember if he was there for Casey or Kira, but, Doug, oh my god, Lo-Fi Jeremiah Quotes to Study To, I may have to make that now. Just me doing the Jeremiah impression, saying every single one. There's like dozens of these quotes at this point. So at the panel, like right afterward, Doug Bogart shows up. If you don't know that name, he's the guy behind Limited Run Games. Which I guess wasn't too surprising, because both of them have worked on limited run products before. But, oh shit, that's right in front of the fire.
Well, it may be unmanned, but it's certainly not undefended.
What kind of madman builds such contraptions?
Remind me why we're here again?
Yeah, I definitely want full health going into that. So, they're having, conversations, and we're, like, filing out of the panel room, because they have to set up for the next one. And Jeremiah just walks up to Doug and asks him to take a group picture of us. I'm like, yeah, great use of the guy behind Limited Run Games. But Doug was very polite about it. He said, sure. So, snaps a group photo of us. And then, in the replies for it, Kira Buckland tags Edward Bosco and says, check out this Yugo cosplay by SCXCR. For context, Edward Bosco is the guy who voices Yugo in the Bloody Roar 2 redub.
Aye? Darkness take.
And I'm like, is he even gonna get it? Because
Was hoping we'd meet
it's
again.
like a different version of the character. But he replies with like, awesome, rock that boxer gear. And I'm like,
Cheers.
In the name of the reaving wind!
Speak.
you know what, fuck it. Oh, it's tempting to just go for that right away.
Tell me what you need.
And all of them have counterattacker. That could make this problematic.
Yes?
Okay, so... Oh my god, this next part. Not of the battle, but of the stories I have to tell.
What are we doing?
So, time goes on. Eventually, like, the wig starts getting really tight on my head. We did another autograph signing, by the way. And again, the line had to be capped because there were just so damn many people. And, the weird thing was, like, for this whole time, like, there was 2 tables side by side. Kira's at one, Casey's at the other. I'm sitting, like, a few feet back of them. Just, like, there in case they need anything. And at a couple of points, like, enforcers for PAX are, like, walking up to me and going, "You doing alright? You need water or anything?" And I'm like, yeah, thanks. I'm fine. And I didn't find this out until, like, well after. But apparently there were, like, 1 or 2 times in line, someone looked at me in the background and was like, "Is he signing too?" And I was thinking, like, what the fuck? I mean, thanks, but I'm no one. I mean, unless you have a copy of Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn to sign, there's not a whole lot that I could do that, like, would matter. So anyway, God, this multitasking thing is hard.
Ready. Away I
Ready.
Aye.
Okay, I want to try and get the caster out of here right away.
Anvil.
What should I do?
What happened?
Down the hatch.
That will be your last.
Yes?
Hang on.
Not gonna kill him this turn, but I can at least deal a significant amount of damage. So, eventually, like, Casey and Kira do a voice acting panel, and, like, the wig on my head is starting to get really tight. Like, otherwise, Yugo from Bloody Roar 1 is a pretty comfortable cosplay to wear, particularly in warmer weather. But the wig was just getting really uncomfortable. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna head back to the hotel
I will drink
and, like, change into normal
blood.
clothes. And Casey went with me just to drop some shit off and, like, just have a snack at the hotel. So we're in the hotel just relaxing for a bit, being away from the constant roar of a con crowd. And then all of a sudden, an alarm goes off. Not a car alarm, an alarm in the hotel. And then the speaker box, like, up in the corner of our room starts playing an automated message saying that there's an emergency in the hotel. And that the hotel is in lockdown.
On your word.
on your word.
And we're both kind of... I mean, to say the least, we were taken aback by this. We're like, what the fuck does that mean? Because the speaker this came out of was marked fire. So my first thought is there a fire? But the word lockdown makes it imply, like, I hate saying this, but kind of implies, like, active shooter, that kind of situation. And the mystery automated voice says, at the end of this message, if you receive the message to evacuate, please leave your room in an orderly manner. Otherwise, please await further instruction. And I'm kind of like, I'm more just confused than anything. But both Casey and I look out in the hallway and like these doors that were not there before appeared shut and latched. So we were all the way at the end of the hall with one other room, and it was just us, like 10 feet of hallway, and then one of these mystery appearing doors.
Ready. Ready? Puskelination.
So, after a little while, Casey are like, I'd rather not stick around here in case there is a fire. So, we like go out into the hallway and try to like open the door, and it's not opening. But eventually we just kind of like brute force the door open.
Come, coward! Defend yourself!
And fortunately, like right after that door, well, first thing I should mention, we didn't know if we would have to go back for anything. So we like wedged the door open with like a bag of stuff that we had. Nothing big, it was just like snack foods. And then we go to the stairwell. And since we don't know what the situation is, we're moving like a fucking SWAT team. We're like moving down the stairwell very quietly, like leaning over the corner, giving the signal to go ahead. On the way down, we're encountering other people who busted out of their rooms. And I'm like, do you have any idea what's going on? No idea. We get to the bottom of the stairwell and the fire exit is open. So we get there and we realize, shit, we will probably get in trouble if they find that door propped open. So we say, shit. We go back up all the stairs. It was like 7 or 8 flights of stairs. Go all the way back up, unjam the door, put it back in our hotel room, go back out the door, and then go down the stairwell again. And on the way, we're finding more people who are like, yeah, I used my hotel key card to like jimmy open the lock, and now I'm here. And we're telling everyone, okay, you can get out like through the fire escape at the bottom of the stairwell. So we get out the stairwell, and it leads out to the street and this like little restaurant nearby. And like 3 of the chefs are outside talking. And we asked them, like, do you have any idea what's going on here? And they said like there were a bunch of police cars and fire trucks out front. And then one of them in a Boston accent goes, "Maybe they cook too many burgers?" I can't do the Boston accent, really, but that's what he said. So we work our way back around to the front of the hotel. And there's like police and fire trucks, but we notice people are still walking into the hotel. Like just ordinary people. So we're like, okay, is the emergency over? We get back inside, we find one of the people who was in the stairwell with us and got out. And he caught us up. Apparently, so the hotel is divided into 2 towers of rooms that people stay in. And then there's like a hub in the middle. Apparently ours was just told to stay in place. The other tower was evacuated completely. Because I guess like a fire alarm went off or was pulled or something.
Speak.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Debating how to approach this.
Come on.
See, what I like to think is this place is so up its own ass about being ritzy and artsy that they had an abstract fire alarm system. The kind that you just nudge into it and it goes off. Or you look at it wrong and it goes off.
Yeah?
Oh, good crit.
Aye?
Gonna do that before I forget. Okay. Did a fair amount of damage on this guy. I'm happy with that. Okay, so after all that, oh, I actually, like, let me go back before that. So I mentioned that I was, like, hanging out for the autograph signings and helping out where I could. At some point I realized, holy shit, I have just fully reverted to convention staffer mode. Like, I was staffing A&G for, like, 8 years or 9 years or however long I did it. I realized that I had done that when Jeremiah was like standing in a doorway that led to this narrow hallway, and I told him, please don't block the door. And the moment I said that, I realized what I was doing, and I went, oh, god damn it. So after all that bullshittery,
I will bring your heads to Lagoth Santa.
sure you will.
Strong as a bull.
Good job. Good job. That stunned him. I don't want to taunt him over here, just so he's easier to get to.
I will tear you apart.
You cursed them.
Yes?
On your word.
On your word.
My plans
Alright,
come to naught.
things will become a little less complicated. After all that bullshittery, Casey and I go back to the convention. We'd noticed that there were a couple of vendors that were selling like soft pretzels. And like, even though they were expensive,
I will
like
bury you.
very obviously overpriced, we were just in a mood where we wanted pretzels. So we both get some, and they're not that good. Eventually, I hear Casey bite into the pretzel, and I hear a crunch sound. A soft pretzel is not supposed to crunch. So eventually we like turn over the pretzel, and there's a big black burn mark on the pretzel. I'm like, how the fuck did you manage that? But it became one of those things where we just like hollowed out the bread that was still soft and then just ate that. Because in addition to reverting to con staffer mode for like autograph signings and people standing in doorways, I reverted to con staffer mode in that my diets like went off a cliff. Not in terms of I ate like shit, but in terms of sometimes I just didn't eat. There were a couple of days of PAX where for the longest time I was just getting by on like part of a bottle of water and half a bagel. And then dinner would come. Whatever dinner was, because sometimes we didn't even have proper dinner. But time goes by. Casey and I eventually end up in the retro console area because I told them that Thug 2 was there. By the time we got there, they swapped it out for something else and made the PS2 station part of a challenge that they were doing, so they could not swap out the game. So we're like, ah, damn it. But then we look across the room and we see that GoldenEye is on one of the stations. N64 GoldenEye. And Casey, like I mentioned, Casey's really into the Tony Hawk games. Casey is also very much into GoldenEye. And like rare FPSs in general. To the point that they like made a modded version of GoldenEye with like a bunch of different character models and sound effects and shit. So we both head over to the GoldenEye station and we would just take turns playing levels on single player and we got through the entire game in like, I don't know, 40 minutes, something like that. And then, right as we're finishing, one of the enforcers who was on break was like, hey, do you mind if I like sit with you and we do some GoldenEye multiplayer? And both our eyes lit up. Because like I have not done like local GoldenEye multiplayer or GoldenEye multiplayer of any kind in like, jeez, I want to say like 17 years. But I still had a ton of fun with it, so we're like, absolutely, yes, let's do it. So we wound up playing like 6 or 7 rounds of multiplayer with like regular weapons and then the dumb bullshit weapons. We took turns deciding like what the level would be and what the weapons would be. And like we did pistols, we did automatics. Casey picked rocket launchers. And I had 2 choices for mine. I was tempted to say throwing knives. But instead, my first pick was proximity mines. Which is... it's like playing the FPS version of Minesweeper. You just walk down a hall and explode. But then I thought, I could make this more stupid. And I picked remote mines for the weapons. So it turned into people like chasing after each other, trying to chase them into traps loaded with mines. Or like just crop dusting the entire level with remote mines, blowing them up and hoping you kill someone. Oh, we killed the frame rate with all the explosions going off, but it was so much fun. So it's getting late. We head back to the hotel, and we're thinking that like we're making so much noise in our room that our neighbors just hate us. Because in a hotel like this, you don't even know if the neighbors are going to be other PAX attendees or people who have absolutely nothing to do with it and are just, like, pissed off that you're there.
Orders?
Here.
Oh, I can't do the taunt yet. Oh, well.
What should I do? Bottoms up.
Go on. Drink.
So, we actually found our neighbors just outside their room chatting because one of them forgot their key, like, inside the room. And apparently none of the other ones, people had their keys. So we just had this extended conversation with them. And the whole while, Jeremiah's just off in the corner going, "Can we please order food?" He's not saying anything, but he has that look on his face of just, I want to eat something and lay in the bed. But instead, we just kept talking. And I mentioned, like, I'm from Ohio. And there were 3 people in the room across from us. 2 of them go, oh, Simon, you were just shit-talking Ohio. And as usual, when people shit-talk Ohio, it was someone who had never actually been there. And no, driving through it does not count as being there. So I gave the rundown of, like, Columbus is fine, West Cleveland's fine, the suburbs of Cleveland are fine. You can skip Toledo, no one will miss it. Cedar Point wins by default. Avoid 2/3 of Cincinnati. And then the other guy just went like, wow, I've learned more about Ohio in the last 30 seconds than in my entire life. And then our conversation continues on, and I could just feel Jerry like staring daggers into us like, please just order food. But it's super late anyway, so a lot of stuff is closing. But at some point, it just turned into a guessing game of people trying to guess each other's ages. And they were wrong on Casey's age, which isn't surprising because Casey looks like significantly younger than they actually are. But then one of them points to me and says, 25. And I can't contain my look of surprise. And I have to go, well, actually, I'm like 37. And then it was their turn to be surprised. So eventually we exchanged pleasantries and Twitter accounts. We like followed each other on Twitter. And we get back into the room, we decide, okay, what is still open at this late ass hour? And the answer was Domino's. So by this point, like, Kira's back in the room, everybody's back in the room. Kira mentioned, by the way, that like she was out with a friend who was local to the area, and they were trying to find a place to just grab a bite to eat. And like every restaurant in Boston was asking for a reservation. And even one like sushi bar they went to, where there were clearly open spaces at the bar, was telling them, oh, we have reservations going out 3 months. So no, you can't eat here. Like, what? So they eventually just left the Boston area entirely, tried going to a restaurant, and still got the reservations chick. So we are all in the room. We decide we're just going to order Domino's. It was closing in about an hour from the time that we placed the order. But there still should have been plenty of time based on the estimate for delivery that they gave. Because the hotel is... It takes effort to miss this hotel that we were staying at. Like, we're thinking, okay, they can't screw this up. Also, you don't have to, like, wait in the lobby for someone or deliver it to a specific room. They have a drop-off area for deliveries. And we paid for it up front, so there wasn't a worry about, like, do we have to pay them, tip the driver, whatever. Well, they screwed it up. So time goes by. We get past the time of the estimated delivery. And I'm like, oh my god, come on. I just like go downstairs to use the bathroom because like it's become an unofficial rule when I go to conventions or like have a room with people that like, if you gotta pee, that's fine. If you gotta go number 2, do it in the lobby. At some point, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize, which I'm guessing was the delivery driver, but I don't actually know. But long story short, the pizza was never delivered. Or it was delivered to the wrong address. So we hear that there's like some other hotel nearby that they may have dropped it off at. And Casey and I say, fuck it, we're going on an adventure. So we head out of the hotel. This is like 2:15 at night. And we're just out wandering the immediate area of the hotel. And the only hotel we see nearby that is not the West Inn, because we checked the West Inn and it wasn't there, is a hotel that's like a quarter mile away, over a bridge, like not even called the same thing, wrong address. Oh, and the funny thing is, when we went to the West Inn and checked for, like if the pizza was delivered there, we mentioned, oh yeah, we're staying at this hotel nearby. And they're like, oh, really? That seems like a really nice hotel. And then Casey's just like, nah, it's a shit hotel. And the dude at the desk's like, really? They just built that recently. I thought that was supposed to be like a really upscale thing. Nah, it sucks. Oh my god, that fucking hotel. Fuck Domino's. So, Casey asked me, like, do you still have that number for the delivery driver? And I'm like, yeah, I have it right here. And they go, okay. And they called it every half an hour until like 6 a.m. So, we're tired, we're frustrated. We get back to the hotel. We're like, Domino's fucked us, guys. And we were seriously considering like going out to this hole-in-the-wall diner that was like borderline 24/7 just to have some kind of food. And everyone else is like, forget it, we'll just get something in the morning. And Casey and I are like, no, we're going exploring. So we venture out into the hotel. And we realize there are no vending machines in this hotel. What they do have are like coffee machines. Coffee cappuccino style machines. But every one that we try is broken. Either all it does is shoot out hot water, or it has this disgusting residue that it shoots out with whatever it's making. We got to one that, this is going to sound disgusting, but it's the only way I can think of to describe it. It looked like the coffee machine had dingleberries. And Casey's just like, it's not their exact words, but they're like, how do you fuck this up? We continue exploring like various floors of the hotel, just looking for anything edible. And eventually we discover the rooftop in-ground pool area, which is on the 5th floor. And it looks like somebody was using it. Like, not immediately, but like a few hours ago. Which, keep in mind, it's Boston in April. It was like 50-something degrees Fahrenheit. Not swimming weather at all. And there's a bar next to that, but that bar's not open. We give up and we go back to the room and we just start eating from this bag of Skittles that I brought. Like a family-sized bag of Skittles. Because, like, the hotel had, like, this little side shop where you could buy, like, drinks and snacks, and it wasn't open. None of the food things in the hotel were open. So, we're in fuck everything mode. Fuck it, fuck this, fuck that, fuck you. So we go back to the room, play some more PS1, and then eventually fall asleep. I think that was when we went to Gran Turismo 1 and started playing the hi-fi races. And I remember at one point ending up at the used car screen in simulation mode. And Casey just goes, "Oh hey, you can sell the cars in this Gran Turismo." I'm like, yeah? Yeah, you can. Because they'd played Gran Turismo 7 earlier and returned it. But Sunday comes along. And yet more autographs, although this time they didn't have to cap the line. However, and this is something that I noticed about a lot of fans that went up to like get autographs from them. Some of them bought prints that Casey, Kira, or both of them would autograph. And like you'd pay with either cash or with a card that you would swipe through this reader. And I'm looking at some of these people trying to pay, and they are so nervous that like their hands are shaking so much they cannot swipe the card. And both Casey and Kira are like, "Oh, I feel so bad for them, but like I have to like take the card from them and then swipe it myself." But like, I can understand. You sympathize with the nervous fan because that was all of us at some point. That's still me to a certain degree. But the last autographs happen, and things are wrapping up, and in the distance, we can see, like, someone in cosplay, like, not quite sprinting, but not exactly jogging to get to the autograph table. It was someone who was an exhibitor, like, on the expo hall floor, who, like, this was their one chance that they had to go and meet Kira and particularly Casey. So they didn't actually have anything to sign. So what we wound up doing was getting a special photo of them with Casey, where they're in chairs back to back doing the Shinji pose. Like with the head down, hands on the forehead. So that was at least a nice moment for them. Although, earlier in the autograph line on Sunday, two other notable things happened. One, there was a person who walked up to the table and was like, "Okay, I realize the chances for this are probably 0, but to hell with it, I'm gonna shoot my shot. Do you have any more of those discs of the Bloody Roar 2 redub?" And all of us were kind of like, "Oh, well, actually, Casey did have more discs of those." I was like, "Sure, yeah, here." And she was like, "Oh my god, I love Bloody Roar 2. I main Uriko." And that made Kira go, "Hmm?" So they wound up giving them that and signing it, and completely made their day from the looks of it. And then there was another person who came through the line later who was like, oh god, I'm trying to remember what exactly they said. So they got a print from Kira that was signed. And then they went over to Casey, and they looked like they were trying to like calculate their money and see what they could afford. Because, like, some prints are more expensive than others. And they're like, oh, I'm just trying to think, because... And she points to this Shin Megami Tensei 5 print, this huge print with the Nahobino on it. And she goes, so I'm actually... Like, these aren't for me. They're actually for a friend of mine who would collect autographs from people at conventions. And they just had a big fire and they lost pretty much everything. And I could see the name on their badge, and it was not the name that Kira endorsed on the signature she did. So you could tell that they weren't just full of shit and trying to like get an extra signature or something. And they're like, oh my god, I can't afford the Shin Megami Tensei 5 print, but... And at that point, I just stand up, I tap Casey on the shoulder and go, can I buy them that print? And the person, like, in line is just going, oh my god, what? And Casey, who we're currently locked in a generosity battle now with each other. A vicious cycle, you could call it. It's just like, I am not letting you do that. And I pull out my credit card, and I move it toward their, like, swipe thing to pay for it. And Casey goes, nope, fuck that, I'm just gonna give it to you for free. So their con was made. They endorsed it to the friend, gave it to them. They were incredibly thankful. And then, like, autographs end. They're completely done for the con. And, we're wandering around more. And I realize that, yeah, slams card on the table. Pretty much. That's pretty much how it went down. And I realize, there's an entire room that they set up solely for playing Steel Battalion. Like land-style Steel Battalion. And it was just amazing to see, like, 15 or 16 Steel Battalion setups with the full controller and the foot pedals and everything. Not the Kinect one. The good one. So, right next to that is a sign saying, you know, Steel Battalion, and explaining what the room is for. And right below it are the words, get in the robot, Shinji. You can probably tell where this is going. So, Kira points it out to Casey. And, Casey's like, ah, fuck. I guess I got it. It's like a say the line, Bart moment. So Casey pulls up a chair, sits in front of the Steel Battalion sign, and does the Shinji pose again. And Kira tweets it out, and... oh, geez. I wonder if I can find it and link it in the chat. Hold on. Oh, I found it. This is what got tweeted out. Love how the number one reply is, guys, they finally did the pose! It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen at some point. I've just completely forgotten about the battle I'm supposed to be doing and focusing on the stories. I'm sure you don't mind.
Speak.
Tell me.
Yeah?
Okay, let's do these.
Ready.
So Sunday was otherwise pretty tame. It was obviously the day where like things were shutting down, and we still had the hotel until Monday because that's when all of our flights were going out.
You shall die here.
So for the rest of Sunday, we just fucked around in the hotel room. Although Casey was like bound and determined not to like have us get screwed over on dinner again. So it was another scenario where it was just me and Casey in the hotel. And I'd given them like a DoorDash coupon just as a way of saying thanks. And they were like, nah, fuck it. Where's the McDonald's? They go online, they DoorDash like 40 McNuggets from McDonald's and 3 McFlurries. And we're watching like the delivery car come toward us. And the route for it keeps getting really erratic. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? Because it's telling them to like, they're on the same block as our hotel, but it's saying, make a left, go across this bridge, do a U-turn, come back across the bridge, now do a couple 360 no-scopes. And eventually, we just, like, stand outside the hotel and wait. And we eventually realized that the GPS was fucking up because the guy was actually on a bike. Which, you know what? Doing DoorDash on a bike, I respect the hustle. Yeah, it was definitely a cool down day. Like, there were periods where each one of us was, like, conking out for a half hour or an hour at a time. We were still playing a bunch of PS1 games, like, Casey and I blasted through Jumping Flash. We did some rounds of Twisted Metal. Trying to think what else. Oh, we played a lot of Destruction Derby. And for the first time in a long time, I managed to get 99 points in one Destruction Derby in the bowl, which I was kind of proud of that. Also, there was like a 30-minute stretch where Jerry was just talking and yeah, he was saying a bunch of goofy shit, and I wound up quoting him like 5 more times in that span. I actually have them on my phone still. Hold on. What day did I invade your stream? That would have been late Saturday, I think. Because I was talking about pizza, right? That was the Domino's. Which, by the way, Kira looked up the Yelp reviews for that after the fact, and it had like a 1.5 rating. And a bunch of people reporting the exact same problem we had. So I've filed a dispute on my card, because trying to call the Domino's itself just went to an automated thing with absolutely zero help. So I'm saying, fuck it. I'm going straight to my credit card company. But, I was hoping that for the entire trip, I would get at least 10 Jeremiah quotes. But you want me to read some of these? Dude, I was thinking the exact same thing. Worst Domino's ever versus worst McDonald's ever. PAX East versus Youmacon. Who will reign supreme in shitty food service? So I'm not going to read all of these, but this is a sampling of some of the things that he said. Sorry, I need to compose myself for these. I feel like fucking. Does Toad have nipples? I actually sniff garlic powder. I don't fart with my pants on. I look like garlic, bro. I'm not finishing that sentence because I don't want to get quoted. Smell it. Bruh, fuck that pizza, Lamau. Ah! The camera went up my ass! Stop quoting me, motherfucker! That shit looks like my piss. I know you're making a quote right now, bruh. You quoted what I said literally a minute ago? I hate when you press yeah like that. Oh, y'all didn't hear me ripping ass? Cool. That shit squirted like I nutted. I just nuked. That's the sampling of the ones that I can read without Twitch going, what the fuck are you doing? Oh my god, Tiger, I can hear you laughing. Just howling in laughter across the house. How did I get here in life? And the days go by. Let the barge sail hold me down.
What are we doing?
Ready.
On your word.
Orders?
Yeah?
Okay, what else from I guess Monday as well. So they did get ride service to go back to the airport and catch their flight. And, I'm not gonna use that yet.
On your word.
Do something.
Yes?
Aye.
Aye?
Yes?
Tell me what you need.
Yeah, I can do this. They got ride service to go to the airport. Their flight was, like, I think 2 hours before ours. And we were originally just going to, like, Uber back to the airport at the same time. Because, obviously, they're checking out. But,
This bores me.
we decided to see if, like, whatever vehicle they got would be big enough to transport all of us, and if they'd be willing to do that. And, as it turns out, it was big enough, and they were willing to do that. So, obviously this person is paid to do this, so they were far and away the best driver in Boston that day. But, we all got to the airport, and, we said our final goodbyes, after, like, both of us had checked in for our flights, and got one last group photo. Which, you know what? Fuck it. I'll link that here, too. There it is. Also, if you look at that photo, you'll probably notice that I'm giving the finger to Jerry. Any time that he was filming something and I was on camera, I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna give him the finger until he stops filming me. He never did it. So, at several points, he probably has to, like, blur out my finger when he's editing his video. Oh. Sorry, there's one more Jerry quote that I missed. Now, I have to do sound effects with this one. But the quote is, "Why are you surprised? You're literally Shinji." I think my favorite quote of the entire weekend is still, "I don't fart with my pants on." you might notice, like, in the background of that Twitter post that I linked, there's a certain shop. Like, you have to look carefully, but it says, La Baguette Marché. So, baguettes are something of a running joke with, like, our little circle of friends. Because, to explain the full context of it, Jeremiah got tricked by, like, one of those scam things on Discord and lost access to his account. And they were able to see the conversations that the person who took over the account was having, and they were in French. So, it took a long time for Discord to resolve this, but he eventually did get access back to his account. And one of the first things he did was message Casey. And Casey still thinks that this is the imposter. So Casey tells him, like, fuck off, and then throws out the phrase, choke on a baguette, you French fuck. And Jerry's like, no, 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 it's me! And Casey's like, what? Oh, thank God. That led to a joke where Casey recorded the line, choke on a baguette, you French fuck, in Bakuryu's voice, and put it into the Bloody Roar 2 redub, like a certain build of it, and then had, like, Paige give it to him in the middle of his stream, saying, Casey made some modifications to this. So Jeremiah's playing through it. He assumes that because it's Casey, they did something with Bakuryu. So he picks Bakuryu for story mode. And what Casey did was, if he won in human mode with Bakuryu, the line would play. So, like, me, Tiger, Casey, and a couple other friends of Jeremiah's are all in a Discord chat, watching this and waiting for it to happen. And I think I just randomly said, like, if he fights Sheena and it happens, then this will be perfect. And the first fight is Sheena, and we'll go, oh my God! So the fight goes on, and it looks like he's going to win in beast mode, which of course would ruin everything because the quote wouldn't play. And we're like, oh no, no, no. Sheena, knock him out of beast form. Sheena knocks him out of beast form, and then he wins, and we're like, yes! And then we all get really quiet. And then the victory screen plays, and you just hear, choke on a baguette, you French fuck. And Jeremiah's like, what the fuck did I just hear? He immediately exits story mode, goes into the sound test, and just starts combing through Bakuryu's files, finally finds the choke on a baguette line, and just starts laughing his ass off. So I told you that story to tell you this story. When we went to Target to get food, I initially, like, got my stuff, and then as we're he said, I think I heard some buffoonery. So I get, like, my food from Target, and then as we're walking out, I pass by this basket, and I look at it, and there's bread in it. I pick it up and look at it, it's baguettes. So I go, well, I know what I must do. So I buy those as well. And then when we make the move to the hotel and we first meet Casey and Kira, one of the first things I do is I say, bonjour, Casey. I brought you some baguette. And Casey just goes, oh my God. And that's when we knew we were going to have a great weekend. And sure enough, in the background of the photo is fucking La Baguette. We started our like week together with Baguette. We ended our week together with Baguette. And I've been talking for like 2.5 hours about all that PAX shit, and I think I'm finally through all of the stories. Although if you have any questions or shit to add, by all
yes.
means.
On your word.
Ready.
Ungodly racket.
Mathan's
Oh shit. Oh man. Could I potentially squeeze another one out of this?
Yes? Uh-huh.
I am sick of this.
Cheers. Command me.
Good crit.
Hang on.
Yeah.
86, so one
What am I
more.
supposed to be doing?
Nice.
Ready?
And I can draw both of them to the inside.
Tom never lost yet.
Okay, I can draw one of them to the inside. But still, that's pretty damn good. You're supposed to finish writing 2 hours ago, got absorbed in this beautiful tomfoolery. Ah. Do I bother, like... Oh, man. Part of me is tempted to, like, take the stream, chop it up, and then throw it on my main YouTube channel. But I don't know.
Ready.
I don't know how well that would go.
Ready?
Fire! Fire! Out of my way!
Aye?
Tell me.
Orders? Goodbye. For now.
This will do 86 damage.
Ready?
I gotta get to that point
suppose.
first.
Hang on.
Speak.
Excellent.
Am I supposed to be doing?
Here.
Tell me what you need.
What should I do?
Command me.
On your word.
Ready?
Aye.
Here.
You need to check the VOD for a good bit of story. Oh yeah, I've been talking for like over 2 hours about PAX stories. I don't like using this word, but that's a lot of content.
Orders?
Okay, so I can do 56 damage.
Ready.
Ready?
Aye.
Which I don't think I'll be able to do, so I'm just gonna
My skin.
On your word.
hold fast.
Yes? Pusskelenish. Pusskelenish.
Aye?
Speak.
Yep.
Alright. We spent most of that fight just talking. But that is alright.
May God reject you.
I don't know if that dagger's gonna be any good to me. Alright, as long as I can make them relatively slow, I'll be fine. And the sad thing is, talking about all that makes me want to go next year, but, I mean, no guarantees. Unless I can get the stars to align like last time. Talk them into submission, and the murdering helped too. Let's just say that the talking helped more than the murdering. Can we say that? Anything you miss? I mean, other than wondering if I'll ever go to PAX again? I don't know. Okay, no bad guys. I think that disabled the axes. Onions. Layers. Shrek joke. Oh my god, what? we still got the wave to deal with. Anything before that after the Jerry quotes? Oh, did you miss the baguette story? Basically, there's like a long-running in-joke between... Oh, it's the key that I just lockpicked my way through. Oh well. Okay, I guess I could tell it again. So there is a long-running in-joke about baguettes, which goes back to when Jeremiah Isaiah's account got scammed out of him on Discord. And the thing is, the account was taken over. Alright, I have to get out of here real quick. Yeah, that was really bad. Here, let me rub a carrot on it.
Need something?
Eh?
So basically, the actually, what was damaging me in the first place? It's kind of hard to tell. Anyway, his account got taken over. We were able to see the conversations this person was having and realize that they were French, or at least spoke French. So, Discord is notoriously slow on dealing with this kind of shit, unless you're like a really big name online. So, Jerry just, like, for over a month, didn't have his account. And that eventually got fixed after a whole lot of poking and prodding at Discord support. I was waiting for those to go by. One of the first things he does is message Casey, saying like, hey, my account's back. It's actually me. And then, Casey, not knowing that it's actually him, is just like, nah, go fuck yourself. And utters the words, choke on a baguette, you French fuck. And at that point, Jerry just loses it. He's like, no, it's really me. And he does eventually prove it's them, and Casey's like, oh shit.
Ready to fight.
That was close.
Goodbye. For now.
Sorry, I wanted to get into that fight first. So,
Down the hatch.
on his stream, Jeremiah is playing some builds of the Bloody Roar 2 redub that Casey is working on. And Casey gets an idea. Casey uses their recording setup to record choke on a baguette, you French fuck, in Bakuryu's voice. And then inserts it into the game as his victory quote for when he's in human form.
Yeah? Good to the
I'll have to make more of these.
Ready.
Ready. My head! My
Good crit. So, Casey puts that line in the game and then sends it to Tiger Uchimaru, like the patch for it, and says, can you get this to Jerry while he's streaming? Because he was streaming at the time. And Tiger will not turn down any chance to be in on a joke like this. Interrupts his stream and says, the mole said to play this. They made some changes. And Jerry's skeptical, obviously. Because, like, both Casey and Tiger are known to be tricksters.
On your word. Away I go.
But he does it anyway. Damn, I was hoping for a crit. And,
What are we doing?
so, like, I'm watching this, Casey's watching this, Tiger Uchimaru's watching this, and a couple of Jerry's other friends are watching this, all in one big Discord chat, waiting for the moment that he hears Bakuryu say the words, choke on a baguette, you French fuck. There are clips of this, like the aftermath of this as well. And, okay, we'll go with that. So, he starts playing the game, he doesn't know what he's supposed to be looking for. But eventually he gets into story mode, and he says, you know what, fuck it, because it's Casey, this is probably something Bakuryu related, so he picks that character. And I'm just in the chat, I think I said something to the effect of, if he does this against Sheena, this will be perfect, because that character is French. Sure enough, very first fight, Bakuryu versus Sheena. And we're all going, oh my god, it's happening! So the fight goes through. He's about to win in beast form, which he doesn't say the quote if you do that. But then Sheena comes through, knocks him out of beast form, and then he wins. And Bakuryu does his victory pose and then says, choke on a baguette, you French fuck! And Jared's like, what the fuck did I just hear? And as Tiger mentioned earlier, he said, I think I heard some buffoonery, bruh. So he exits out of story mode, goes back through the menus and into the sound test. Goes through Bakuryu's voice clip, and sure enough, he clicks on one and hears, choke on a baguette, you French fuck. And he just loses it. He's laughing his ass off in his chair. He gets up, walks out of the room. He's like pacing through the house, laughing hysterically. Oh my god. So, at that point, baguettes became a thing for our group. Flash forward to PAX. The Wednesday that I was at the Airbnb with Jerry and his friends. We all went to Target and got some food. And I paid for my stuff and I was about to leave, and I walk by a basket. I look at the basket, it has bread inside. I check to see what the bread is. It's baguettes. And I say, well, I know what I must do. I go back, I buy some, and then I hold on to them until we get to the hotel and meet up with Casey and Kira for the first time. And like at first I'm talking to Casey in the at home with English voice, because that's become a running gag in our group as well. But then I say, bonjour Casey, I present baguette. And Casey just goes, oh my god. So that is how our PAX as a group started. And then in that image I linked in the background, there's a closed up shop called La Baguette Marché. So we started with baguettes, we ended with baguettes. Almost poetic in a way, if it weren't so stupid.
Yeah?
Aye?
Aye?
Yes?
Yes?
Now back to what I was pretending that I would do for most of the stream, play Barstale.
Ready? I suppose Kalanish.
Speak.
On your word.
Oh, I know those clips are still on his channel. It's just a matter of finding them. Oh, he can pull people forward with that.
Yes? Puss Kalanish.
Speak.
On your word.
On your word.
19 physical, so this should work out. I feel like I should just end the stream after story time ended. I think there's a save point coming up relatively soon. I can just do it then.
On your word.
Yeah?
Hang on.
And congratulations, you're poisoned.
Orders?
Tell me what you need. You're as weak as tin.
Here.
Talk to me like that, you ball bag.
Yes?
Damn, double crit on the Storm of Blades. I will take that.
Here.
Ready.
Am I supposed to be doing something?
Yes?
Yeah?
Ready?
Yep.
Command me.
Ready? I suppose.
Already used that.
On your word.
Ready.
That's okay.
Get over there! Aim! Shoot! Away! That's the way!
Yes?
On your word!
What are we doing?
Alright, that is done. Oh, right, I never checked to see if that dagger would be something I could use. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna loot that room and then go and save. And then I might actually call it here, because I've done a lot of talking. You hope Colossal Con is fun. Well, funny thing about Colossal Con. You know who one of the guests is? Kira Buckland. And don't quote me on this, but Casey may end up going to that as well. If that happens, oh shit. That is going to do it for me tonight, though. I'm gonna try and get back into the habits of streaming again, but like, even like this far removed from the trip to Boston for PAX, my brain still feels like it's playing catch up. So we'll see where the rest of the week takes me. I'm still getting used to working again. But might do Gamefly, might do fuck, I can't even remember what I was streaming. International Superstar Soccer. I'm just gonna see where the rest of the week takes me. So, thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the stories. And that I wasn't just rambling for 2.5 hours for no reason. Actually, let me see something real quick. It looks like most of my friends aren't doing anything. Alright, well, I guess I'll just end it here. Thanks for watching, and have a good night, or morning, or afternoon, whatever it is where you are. Later.